Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another video. Now, you guys might find this very difficult to believe, but people are mad at a Halo game, and that's what we'll be talking about for today's upload. Now, again, we're getting very close to baby number 2 time in the EckhartsLadder household, so this will be a bit more of a rambling video. Maybe turn this on if you've got some yard work to do, or you're taking the bus, or you're shitposting on Halo Twitter, whatever you want. On that note, before we continue, I am taking 2 weeks off when the baby does come, which should be within a couple of weeks, and I'm looking for people who might be interested in filling an upload slot on the channel. Are you a medium-sized YouTuber or a new YouTuber with real talent? Well, reach out to me. What we'll do is you can upload the video on this channel, you'll get full exposure, of course, but more importantly, you will get 100% of the ad revenue, and realistically, exposure to a new audience is something awesome. And on that note, if you guys are just interested in watching videos, know that if you're seeing some uploads from people who aren't me, that's probably what's going on. Now, this might not happen at all, and if it does, it will only be temporary, so please don't unsubscribe. Anyway, let's get back to the juicy drama. One of the most controversial aspects of the recent Halo games has had to do with graphics, and that's everything from single-player models to differing art styles, to quite contentiously how players look in multiplayer. I think everyone probably has their own favorite Halo armor system. I really liked Halo 3, but it's hard to deny that the customization offered in Reach was really next level, at least for the series, while Halo 4 and Halo 5 have been pretty significant steps downhill, not necessarily in customization, but in the design of the actual armor itself. That's why there's been lots of discussion about multiplayer and single-player armor in Halo Infinite, and people generally have been excited to see 343 returning to the classic Bungie-era art style. That being said, there have also been concerns. I'd say one of the major ones, aside from the recent drama, has to do with Halo Infinite's monetization, and it seems like the game is meant to be a live service model taken to the extreme. They say Halo Infinite will receive support for 10 plus years, which naturally leaves lots of us to reckon that, yeah, the game probably will have at least some microtransactions, and one of the best ways that you can put microtransactions into a game without actually splitting a player base is through cosmetic unlocks, especially purchasable ones, and there is even some precedence for this, as in Halo 5 you could have logos and whatever else in loot boxes which you could earn or purchase. Anyway, let's get to the recent news. So, due to some leaks, Halo released a waypoint post about the new coding system that will be present in Halo Infinite. This coding system will replace the traditional primary and secondary armor colors that have been present in most Halo games. With this all explained in greater detail in the Waypoint article. I'll just give you guys a Reader's Digest version. At the beginning, Unyshek explains, as I mentioned, that they were forced to sort of announce this early because of promotional leaks, then going on to say that player expression has been a key pillar of Halo Infinite, and to achieve these goals, the team has developed a new system which is a powerful and flexible way to create customization content quicker and more robustly than we've been able to in the past. This is the coding system, a 7-layer shader that allows us to put any artist-authored color, material, or pattern into 7 channels and apply it to in-game items like weapons, armor, and vehicles. So this is actually more than just armor systems. As mentioned, we get vehicles and weapons, which all sounds very cool, but the controversial bit is that this will take the place of the primary/secondary armor color option, with fans largely worried that this will lead to basic colors being locked behind loot crates. I mean, part of the problem here is we don't really understand very well what coatings mean. So each thing has 7 layers of customization, which I personally think is really cool, and coatings do seem interesting because they offer not only different colors, but also completely different textures. Like, you could have armor with maybe a shiny finish or a metallic finish. And it's more than just colors, it's also designs and patterns and whatever else. Personally, I'm pretty on board with this system, but I do want to go over and explain why a lot of people have problems. So, unsurprisingly, when you go to the Halo subreddit, you can sort of see a lot of the complaints brought to life here. And I think this post by Hiram White offers a good example of an alternative method that Halo Infinite could have used, because the main idea behind the coding system is that it gives more options for customization. However, here is the player's attempt to sort of keep that while also maintaining the original system, basically allowing you to make your own layers, changing the material, the wear and tear glare, the dirt, whatever else, and also choosing secondary and primary colors. I think this post is a little overblown. I think the title especially is perhaps a little inflammatory because we don't know exactly how coding will work, especially with colors. It could very well be that the coding system is exactly like this, except instead of having individual sliders, you just have metallic red or reflective red or whatever else, and maybe some of the options being presented can't be described simply by a material and a color. All in all, it's very, very early, I think, for people to be this outraged, but I do want to look at some more of the anger here because some of it is also legitimate. I'd say another main gripe has to do with the fact that people are really worried that basic customization will now be locked behind paywalls. This post by Ketosis I thought was pretty funny, me and the boys trying to customize our Spartans without spending money, and of course they've got really gaudy and ugly outfits. And I think another complaint is that no matter what, you're still limiting customization by removing colors, and I guess I feel two ways about this. First of all, one of the main limits of classic color customization is that most of it didn't actually transfer into competitive multiplayer. Now that's only a small part about customizing your Spartan. There's obviously still custom games or non-team multiplayer games, and I'll also say that I would gladly exchange a system where there's dark red and very dark red for one where players get true customization. You guys know, me of all people, I've got no problem with being critical for new Halo, but when it comes to Halo Infinite, I think we're not giving 343 enough of a chance. Now, arguably, maybe 343 hasn't quite earned a whole lot of leeway in the minds of consumers, but here's how I feel. Just bringing primary and secondary colors back into Halo Infinite would be like the easiest thing ever. You can do that, no one is going to complain about that, that's standard, it's very easy to implement. I truly believe with this system that the devs are trying to create customization that's more satisfying. They're not taking the easy route out. The main question for me is, did they do this because they honestly wanted something better, or did they artificially limit customization in order to add in future options for monetization or whatever else? Because that is the most annoying thing in a game, when you've previously had options or when the game could easily be designed a certain way, but the developer has removed a feature because they think they can make money off you. A really good example of that would be energy systems in mobile games. We don't know though. I'm gonna say give it time. Halo clearly was not ready to make this announcement, but their hand was forced by some unfortunate promotional leaks, which has actually been happening a lot with Halo Infinite. But I don't know, I've got a few final thoughts. One comparison that people are making that unfortunately I'm not super familiar with is the shader system from Destiny. I only played through Destiny 1's campaign and a little bit of Destiny 2, so I'm not as familiar with the multiplayer or customization aspects as a lot of you are. Let me know if the comparison is valid down in the comments. I will also say that I thought the Spartan from the actual Halo Waypoint article looked pretty awesome. The nice thing about the color changes as well is those probably won't simply default to team colors in Slayer or any other ranked or unranked team gameplay, which I think is pretty cool. And I just wanted to end with the fact that Unishek, the community manager for 343 and a good guy, put some extra details in a Twitter thread, which I'll link below. He said, no, coatings and colors can not only be purchased, although he did say that they will, or at least some of them will be obtainable that way, but not exclusively purchasable, which is nice. And also said that simply changing colors while the rest of the coating remains the same, sort of like the Reddit post I referenced earlier, isn't really possible. And that ultimately moving away from the old color system does give the player more opportunity to go into greater detail and variation with armor color, material, and patterns. So yeah, I truly believe 343 wasn't interested in just taking away things from people. I think the community is overreacting a little bit. I understand being a little critical or at least questioning of Halo Infinite, but this one I think needs a bit more time before we collectively blow the community gasket. I don't know, I'm not super one way or the other on this topic, and I look forward to reading your guys' comments down in the description. If you made it this far, if you listened to this entire video and now feel like leaving a reasoned comment, maybe also let me know which weapon from all of the Halo games is your favorite, just so I know which comments were made after all the information is out there. Till next time though guys, this has been your friend and host EckhartsLadder. Be safe, have fun, and may the Force be with you.